Girls, fellas, people, ladies. Is there a lady here? Or not? We don't need one. We don't need women. Do we need women? Okay, hold on. It is me. A Koopa has arrived at your basement, in your dwelling, on your device. I'm coming in your screen. Ew, that sounded kind of dirty. I'm sorry. I'm coming on your screen. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Let me come all over you and show you the map of life. You're right there. You're right there on that star. That's you. That red spot, that's you. And where we're going, straight to the top, baby. Okay, that was a weird intro. I'm DeMarcus. I'm the Mark. I'm the Koopa. Damn it, I keep that back. We're doing the last pirate quest, the last pirate. We're not gonna be soft, we're gonna be hard. And don't worry, we have mana. So I appreciate you watching. Go ahead, drop a sub if you like to sub, if you like to love. And yeah, I'll just teach you how to get your pirate proof. Proof of true piratism. You know, don't love that. Don't love that. So, if you like it, drop a like. I hope you have a good whatever day I upload this for. On up person. And yeah, so let's do story spoilers today. Like I said, we're gonna be discovering where the treasure is, getting a little treasure in this wonderful, wonderful game. And when you complete this, you're gonna get your pirate proof. I forget what the pirate proof does, but don't worry about it, man. It does good things. Um, and essentially for this one, you just got to get a water sedge, and then you do a dungeon, and then you're done. But story wise, the water sedge is to um, it's like invisible ink on the map, and then you figure out where the map leads. The map is going to lead us to the pirate cave thing. Basically, the place we went in the first, the dungeon we went on the first quest, which is funny. Went back to my house because I think I already have water sedge. And yeah, after we get there to find the treasure, we actually find the treasure. There's a little puzzle, which is pretty cool. We actually find the treasure, and it is, of course, an evil idol that possesses a guy, and then we have to fight him. And then there's a twist, and I don't want to, get rid of what the twist is because it's going to be pretty simple to see what's going on here. But essentially, everybody is not who they seem. So don't we love it? You have a good time watching this, a good time vibing with me as I just kind of ramble on about life, about things that suck, about analogies, because I don't know why I love comparing MMOs to real life. It's probably because MMOs are real life. And if you don't realize this, I apologize that you've been lied to your entire life. We'll get into more, the deeper aspects of the analogy. If you watch the Magic Tower Theory playlist. That's where I kind of explicitly discuss these things. But just in general, while we're jumping through, I just like to jump on random topics, random platitudes and stuff that I like to see. I like to see that I like to talk about, and whatnot that I hear about today. As you can clearly see, I watch a lot of VTubers, so that's one thing that I tend to get my news from. But I suppose I'll get into that nowadays. Lately, it's been feeling pretty weird. Like the world isn't real anymore. Does anybody get that feeling? Like in the wonderful world of 2025, I feel like I just like this summer, especially with the news cycle and what's been going on. It really feels like it's not real. Like it's not like it doesn't make sense. And I don't know if that's because of, the fact that no, I don't want to say all, but, like a good 90 to 80% of the female creators I watch, are animated. They are anime girls. They're not actually real women, and as by, I guess, 2014 standards, they would all be old, fat 40-year-olds in their basement because we've all played old MMOs and we all know what girls are in MMOs. As a matter of fact, look at this fucking MMO and look at me playing it with two, not one, get it, two female characters that I play as. So, this is reality of the situation. The funny thing about me though is that I don't care. I don't care if they are actual women or not. Um, I am kind of obsessed with art. Kind of obsessed with art, and I've always loved animated TV shows. Like, I got started with Family Guy, which eventually moved on to American Dad, and then a little bit of The Simpsons. And then, eventually I started watching really fun stuff like BoJack Horseman. BoJack Horseman, I think, was probably one of the best American cartoons I've ever watched. And then, America decided to make way more amazing cartoons, like fucking Big Mouth or whatever the fuck that trash was. I don't like Big Mouth. I'm not a fan of Big Mouth. But you see what I'm saying here? A lot of the things that just me personally, I'm not saying this is like, something that you yourself should live by, little gooner, but something that I truly hold on to is connecting real things, real feelings, real emotions to, things that are anthropomorphic or don't seem real. Because honestly, a lot of these people who are actually here in our real life and look like humans are disgusting troglodyte creatures that probably should look like aliens. Because you don't feel, you don't recognize yourself, you don't grow, you don't take accountability. And because you look like what you look like, everybody treats you a certain way. And I don't like that. So what I love about these anime characters is that they get to decide. They get a choice of what to look like and how to be comparatively, as to what that looks like. And I would love if I could just turn off my dumb troglodyte caveman brain and, actually respect women no matter what they're wearing, but I can't. It's biology. It's the same way like women wish they could, turn off their stupid temperature regulation bullshit so they could work outside in a construction job. They fucking can't. Women will pass out. They cannot regulate temperature like us. Or just the simple thing of, having a little bit more strength to be able to do the job for longer, having a little bit more stress tolerance to be able to handle the pressure for longer. It's a thing, and a lot of people are calling these biologic conditions like misogyny, and yes, it's linked to misogyny. But misogyny is simply the hive mind that stops us from critical thinking. Misogyny is the shortcut that we all use because we're so stressed out from life. Guys, I live life thinking at 2,000 frames per minute. And it's not fun. It's not fun, but you can do it. You can do it. Normally, I have to read a lot while I'm doing things. Otherwise, I'll probably just start thinking of horrible, horrible shit. Because, not only does my brain work really fast, I just naturally kind of have let it do what it needs to do. And you don't realize when you think a lot, you pretty much only think of the bad stuff. Like if you're a long thinker, you know where I'm coming from with this. Like the longer you think about something, the worse it gets. Essentially. If you're a long thinker, you recognize this. And if you haven't recognized this pattern, I'm sorry that it's taken you this long. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm the one to give you it too. That's terrible, man. Holy shit. You got to read about this somewhere, man. But if you're not a long thinker, you probably haven't realized this because you don't ponder things a lot. You don't ponder things to their natural conclusion. So there's sort of a bar. I like to call this a little thinking happiness graph. So there's like a sweet spot of happiness when you think about something. Because when you first think of something, at least for me, the thoughts immediately start out negative, and then I can sort of sway it around and make it positive and make it go higher and higher. And then somewhere along there, it goes right back to negative, and I cannot get it back to positive once I reach that threshold. And there's no, real good point, which is why I need a book or something to distract me, or of course, the phone. But lately, whenever I pick up the phone, it's like a horrible, horrible itch to do things that I shouldn't do on the phone. Which is why I say, and I think I've mentioned this in an episode before. I say we need to disconnect all these devices. Sure, have a cell phone, but can we have a separate MP3? Can we have a separate bookkeeping app? Can we have a separate clock? Can we have a separate app to play video games? Can we separate this bullshit? Because having one box to do literally everything, like, can we have a ride sharing thing? We have no, 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 no. It doesn't work for me. I like carrying around bags too, so I feel like if all these devices were like handheld, I don't even care if they're handheld. I'll put them in my pocket. I'm a guy. We carry things, including the weight of this world and its retarded fucking landscape of society. So if we're gonna carry this bullshit up, all these distractions need to be mitigated. And Me personally, making it easier and easier to mitigate this bullshit that is constantly being fed to me will only help. Will only help. But then again, it's like, what are we helping? Because in this world, the distractions are what keep us alive. And we know this. We are recognizing of this, which is why, I would love the sentence of going to jail. Because then I wouldn't have to rely on the distractions because they're not fucking available. Like the main reason why I play this game is because I cannot fucking sit still. I can't. It's physically impossible for me to sit and do nothing. Although that is what I want to do. I want to sit and bed rot and do nothing and goon for the rest of my fucking life. I don't like life. But more than that, I don't just want to goon for the rest of my life. I want to, make a statement, send a message, have a goal for people to strive for and not just twiddle the thumbs and feel like nothing matters and hope is gone. And then I want to leave because holy shit, people are way too fucking possessive. My entire life, I've been taught that you gotta be open and give love to everyone. But I've noticed when you give love to everyone, there's always that one motherfucker that says, but you gave it to this other person, so the love you gave to me really isn't good. And then blah, 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 and there's always some stipulation and some requirement that you're not inherently meeting. And yeah, I know I tend to complain and crash out about other people's inconsistencies and faults and whatnot, but that's the thing, guys. I recognize that I am a hugely flawed individual, which is why I'm not gonna be some crazy amazing arbiter of what's right and what's wrong. I don't want to lead people like that. I just want to, of course, give people the guidance who want the guidance because I want the guidance. Holy shit, I love directions. I love coaching. The problem is, a lot of people tend to hold this shit over your head, especially, I mean, look on YouTube on anybody that gives advice like I do. They usually have some kind of course, some kind of, paid seminar or coaching call or whatever the fuck. Just basically to tell you, hey, keep doing the good stuff. I'm like, okay. Because there really is no formula, guys. Most of these coaches are just going to tell you to do more of what you want to do that helps you and do less of what you don't want to do that hurts you. And if you can come to that conclusion by yourself and say, fuck it, fuck the therapy. Most guys don't work with it. I know it. I tried it. Like I said, I was in a psych ward and then I took therapy from two different therapists. I didn't like either of them and I'm still, just chatting with other therapists to see if there's someone else who works with me. But generally, I don't like therapists because they just give me solutions and then I implement the solutions and I'm like, okay, well, bye. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I don't really want to talk to you for a long time because I don't view that as a friendship. I don't view that as, a valued relationship because I'm paying you to talk to you. Like, that's like me developing a relationship with a prostitute or with an OnlyFans girl or the porn, But the thing is, I do develop relationships with the porn stars that I watch and the porn that I watch in general, the hentai and stuff. But the only reason why I'm cool with that is because there's no monetary investment. I pull up the phone and I waste my time because I wanted to waste my time. And of course, it's a video, they don't have a fucking choice. This person with agency, with a life, with power. And I don't know why. It's probably just because I've been burned too many times and I don't ask people for shit. So when you don't ask people for shit, they just get this, he's gonna ask for something, it's gonna be big because I've taken so much from him. It's sometimes unconscious, but sometimes it is very conscious, and I hate that. That people just know. The fact that you have like agency over them just because they know. Motherfuckers know when they've withdrawn from the bank 8,000 times and haven't deposited a thing. They just know. Maybe they don't intellectualize it, but there's the people that do fucking intellectualize it and choose to just hide it from you. The people who think you're hot as shit and will never tell you it. And this is a lot of girls, this is a lot of guys, especially since I am tall. I don't really, I don't really like to view myself as an Adonis. But I am tall, and lately I've been actually investing in my health, just working out and stuff. I've never really had to do it in life. I've realized that because early on in my adolescence, I moved out to a city where I had to walk everywhere. I like to walk a lot in elementary school to school and high school, middle school. We had a huge yard where I exercised as well. And then I just realized, wait a minute. These past couple of years, I haven't really been outside and exercising too much. But yeah, a little tangent there. I noticed that it may it may be a result of just the way people have constantly treated the results that I've given them. And in that way, we sort of tell everybody how to treat us. Of course, you know that. I know that. But at the same time, there's always a chance to change. There's always a chance to alter our approach because man, just being used your whole life, it don't do good for the confidence. Don't do good for the psyche unless you change something about yourself and you start moving with more awareness. The problem is with people find these, relationship issues and stuff, they always start pointing fingers. And with everything, they just start pointing fingers. Because of course it's way harder, man. It's way harder to, you know, just be better. Shut up and be better. That's the way harder choice. Um, and oftentimes when life gives us a choice, we're gonna take the shortcut. We're gonna essentially do the thing that gives us the instant gratification. Example: I get broken up with from my girlfriend, and I could, or my girlfriend cheated on me, so she breaks up with me. So like I could, just hit the gym, break up with her, not even talk to her, not even worry about the other guy. Chill out, find a new job. I could do that, or conversely, I could vindictively get back at her and cause some drama, and then she gives me a reaction and a story that I can tell to my friends, and then we're gonna associate this with a bunch of other shit that she does, and I can key hit her boyfriend's car. You do all this stuff for instant gratification to teach them a lesson, right? To get your revenge, right? But how's that look 5 years down the line? You might have a story. You might still be dealing with it. I'll tell you what you won't be dealing with 5 years down the line in the first one. Um, Anything about them. Because you don't need to. You don't need to. You realize, guys, and this is gonna feel really sad, but if you really like someone, I'm talking, crush, friendship, family, whatever, and you don't talk to them for at least 3 months, all of your feelings will fade. Every single one. Every single one. Especially if you don't talk, don't, zero contact, 3 months. And if they don't fade, that person, whoa, may have actually meant something to you, but you're never going to tell them that. You're never going to tell them that until it's 7 years later, way long down the line. And, you don't care about anything because you have nothing in your life going for you anymore. So, you start hitting up fucking everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry down the street, trying to see, where I can go, where I can fit in. And the problem is, you don't fit anywhere. You don't fit anywhere. And for me, that's a very, very happy thing. That's a very, very beautiful thing because not fitting anywhere means I can make my own place to fit. For women, a lot of times, though, the stress of finding that place is far too high, far too great to do alone. I would prefer to do it alone because that's a problem. And what do guys do? We solve problems, usually by our fucking selves. And this is why I really have to preach this fact that, we may never reach it. We may never be the ones who build generational wealth. We may never figure out this ecosystem. We may never fix, the economy. We may never solve society. We may never build a community that feels safe again, that feels loving again, that feels close again, that doesn't feel, separated. We may never be able to do that. But I have to sit in solace that my efforts will create the mind that does do that. And, honestly, I just want to see what I'm capable of, try my hardest for while I'm here. And I don't doubt the guys for succumbing to the suicide generation because goodness gracious, the world has so less hope now. It's efficiently devoid of it, and our you know the older generation kind of sucked it all out of us. And if you don't have anybody pure and actually trying to bring life into your situation, I can understand how that would feel. It feels like, well, what the fuck is the point of trying? And then you get, what the fuck is the point of trying energy for 2 to 3 years? You're gonna give up. I'm sorry. It is what it is. It is what it is. And this is exactly how, corporate America is being treated. This is exactly how relationships are being treated. This is exactly how, it's all a commodity. We're all looking at people like they're used cars ready to be, you know, handed off at the lot. It's pathetic. Truly. Truly, truly, truly. The generations before us really, I don't know if they thought about it too much. I'm not gonna say they didn't care. But when you look at, the fact that motherfuckers were just buying houses for banks and thought that was okay, and now look at it, like what were we thinking? What were they thinking? Like a good old angry video game nerd type shit. The irreparable damage to the world has to be healed. I just don't know how to do it, and I think having an explicit goal to find out a big question like that is not only noble, a little thing like that, but also it's going to give you something to fight for the rest of your life. I mean, at least for the rest of my active life, because I really do dream of an early retirement, more ways than one. And that's just because, yeah, I feel like I have a job to do here. And when it's done, can't really picture myself, taking care of maybe just one person who really deserves it. Not at this stage. Not at this stage, at least. I'd probably 10 to 5 years from now build up a bit of a team, a bit of a clique, because they always follow me. It is what happens. Like I said, guys, I've had over like 10 retail jobs in the past 9, 10 years. Some a year, some 2 years, some far less than that, some 6 months or whatever. Um, and through all of them, eventually, people notice how I learn things quickly and lead by example. And then eventually they just follow me instead of whoever the fuck is supposed to be in charge. Because why would you follow someone who tries to be incompetent instead of following someone who tries to grow from their incompetence? I don't even try to grow from my incompetence alone. I grow from the boss's incompetence. I grow from the people below me's incompetence. I grow from looking at the bum on the side of the street and learning from his incompetence. And it's all about perspective. A lot of the times when I see someone pained on the side of the road, the reason why I help them is because I see myself in them. Like I feel like this whole situation stems from people who are like, for people who answer the question, like, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning? And then they answer the question like, but I did eat breakfast this morning. And I feel like that is like half of our population that just doesn't want to think about other people as if they have their own minds and free will. They want NPCs in their life and not only, around them walking, just player characters doing their own game. No, They want NPCs in their life explicitly talking to them and having conversations with them, but not feeling or having any emotions. And that's why AI is a thing. And people don't just admit this. They won't admit that they want a fucking robot, but like that's what I felt like for the most like a good half of my first year of being like a 20-year-old, 25-year-old. I felt like Robot Boy. I felt like Robot Boy was the only thing I could be in order to be successful. And of course that didn't work. I mean, of course it kind of worked because, I've had a lot of jobs, customer service maybe, but every job I've had has paid more than the last. It's only brought me like $20 an hour by now, but I do work from home, so that's nice. And the thing about life is that if you have this mindset of just slowly growing through things, you don't have to deal with people's bullshit. The reason why I left most jobs, I usually don't get fired, but the reason why I left most jobs is just I just got tired of the bullshit, so I started applying for different jobs. Holy shit. Sometimes they fire me. I will admit that. Sometimes they definitely do fire me. But for the most part, I just make myself an invaluable asset. I do my job, I go home, I make maybe one friend. I don't like making friends, but people like being around me. And guess what? Guess what, guys? You may see me as some sort of horrible, annoying narcissist, but I like being around people a lot. This is kind of why I wanted to start this channel in the first place. I really do. That's how I fall in love. I don't like gifts. I don't like acts of service. I don't like anything besides you just being there because I like to be entertaining. I realized that's my one thing that really pisses me off is that what I actually love and need to do to people is generally what they already want from me. They just want my awesome presence and me to be happy and smiling and make them smile. But like, on top of that, they ask me for a bunch of other shit. And it's not like I can ask for a favor back. What's my favor back gonna be? Like, hey, can I hang out with you again and make you happy? I don't know. And in reality, that's not how I gain energy. Like most guys, what I love doing drains my energy. And I don't want to be pair bonded to someone who truly doesn't value me. That happened to me a lot because I didn't really look for relationships. I didn't really look for people to, have fun with. I just kind of let them come towards me. And that was my philosophy from a very young age. See, the problem with that is that when you just let people come towards you, you're only going to interact with those who are masculine and interacting with their force instinct. You're not going to interact with people who actually have love, power, joy in their hearts. You're going to interact with a lot more people because they try harder. These people with the vindictive and then the horrible instincts, they try harder. It's just like it's so much easier to have negative emotions in your head. It's so much easier to try harder and use a greater force when you have negative intentions. So the thing is, they're always going to rise to the cream of the crop way higher than the people who actually have your best in mind. And I didn't realize that at first. So, I'm just over here casually letting anybody who wants in, into the gate when not realizing like, yeah, if there's no bodyguard, then of course all the criminals are going to come in first. And that's the thing about life, guys. It's all about temperament. It's all about boundaries, and you have to be kind. You have to come in with kindness and justice and love. But yeah, it's about knowing where you stand and keeping your values to your heart. So that's why family is so fucking important, guys. They're supposed to teach you, how the world is. This is how I made it this far. All that good stuff so that we can come back and make something better for them. I'm going to take a nap. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Subscribe. And I'll see you next time. That may turn into a Super Saiyan real quick. Kill shit, my Navy SEAL shit.